This issue with car notes being really high, and I started off mentioning that to you that the average car note in America for a new car is $730. It was not like that before the pandemic. Before the pandemic, let me see. I did some research here. I got some data. Um, let's see here. Before 2019, car payments were much lower. In 2018, the average Americans paid 554 on new vehicle leases. So that number's gone up to 730. After 2019, there's been a notable rise in average car payments. This increase is attributed to several factors, including higher vehicle prices and increased interest rates, which have escalated financing costs. In 2023, in the third quarter of 2023, the average monthly payment for new cars was 736, which is a 4.5% increase from the previous year and a substantial 32% increase from 2019. The rise is also reflected in the share of $1,000 plus monthly car notes. So there is a large percentage of people that are paying more than $1,000 per month on their car. Some of you may know people who are doing that. Some of you may be in this room. About 17.5% of all Americans are paying more than $1,000 a month on their car. Now, if you want to understand how much money that is, and I'm not judging you. I'm okay with you driving your Bentley and stuff or your Benz. Like, keep driving it. I'm happy for you. But let me kind of help you understand what happens when if you are in the category of those who might spend that much money on a car note, and you don't also put that same amount of money, say, in your investment account, stuff like that. Well, remember the $5 a day plan, which is the wealth plan that every family can apply to make sure your children never have financial problems for their entire life. The $5 a day plan is $150 a month. And off that $5 a day plan, on average, again, you can't predict the future, but on average, and we've talked about these numbers, at the age of 10, your kid has $29,000 liquid. That puts them ahead of most Americans. Most Americans don't have $29,000 liquid. At the age of 20, they've got about 102K liquid, which puts them into elite status. Most white people don't have that much money, at least most white 20-year-olds. And then by age 30, they're about 245 or quarter million liquid. And then by the age of 40, you're talking about $750,000 liquid, right? So this is a simple, straightforward process. Again, blackwealthmasterplan.com is where you can find the $5 a day plan. This is what we offer in the Black Business School, so that you can join for free, or you can get access to that for free. All right. Now, remember though, the Cardinal example that we just gave is not 150 a month; it's $1,000 a month, right? So you're talking about a number that's about 7 times greater, right? So take these numbers and multiply them by 7, and this is what you would have if you took that same amount of money and instead of putting it toward the car, or in addition to putting it toward the car, you put it toward the future of your children or the future of your family. So that number, so that 29K, if you multiply that by 7, you get 210K. So after 10 years, your kid has $210,000 instead of 102. You're looking at about 700K. Let's roughly, ballpark, give or take a few thousand, right? So your kid's 20 years old, they got $700,000. Instead of a quarter million, you're looking at what's a quarter million? Let me see, quarter million times 8, it gets us almost to 2 million. So let's say about, I don't know, let's be conservative, about 1.6 million at the age of 30. And then instead of $750,000, you multiply that number by 7, you get about $5 million roughly. Let's say roughly 5 million, more like 4.7, 4.8. So here's what I'm saying. Here's where I want to get to. Okay, I'm gonna pause and I want you to hear. Um, uh so here's what I want you um to get. If you are in that category of people that maybe spends $1,000 a month on a car note, um you're building a tremendous amount of generational wealth for somebody else. You're literally making somebody else's child a multi millionaire. um if you're so again, it's not the $1,000 car note that is the issue. It is the fact that the $1,000 car note sometimes is acquired without an equivalent investment in um yourself, right? Do you follow what I'm saying? Give me a yes if you're following what I'm saying. Okay, it's not to say that there's anything wrong with spending. You could have a $2,000 car note if you want to, but it's like eating your ice cream before you eat your vegetables. It's doing the unfortunate things or the unnecessary things before you do the necessary things. Do you understand? And so if you look at this, so the next time you see somebody driving down the street in a Hellcat or or some car that costs an insane amount of money, I think the question would become, are you equally the same amount of diligence that it took and the amount of discipline and commitment and sense of urgency that it took to get that Hellcat? Did you have that same amount of discipline and urgency when it came to investing for your future and the future of your kids? So do we understand this? Give me a yes if you're following. I want to make sure it's clear. I'm not saying that Dr. Boyce is going to shame you if he sees you in a nice car. Okay, let me know if you get this. I'm not saying that I'm gonna look you up and down when you get out of your Bentley or your Mercedes. Don't I hope you understand that. I'm not doing that to you. I'm not one of those people. I'm not a person who's gonna slap the Starbucks coffee out of your hand because you spent $7 on a latte. I'm not saying that at all. Get your damn $7 latte. They're good. It's okay. I do it too. What I'm saying is handle your business. That's it. Stand on your business. And I can tell you, it's a process for everybody. We're all breaking out of this culture. We're all affected by slave culture. All of us are affected by bad habits that somebody else gave us. I still fight them all the time, every day. Every year, if you've been on this platform, you'll notice that I evolve in terms of how I approach things every single year because I'm fighting my slave habits. I'm trying to stand on business. I'm trying to cut out BS and nonsense. Okay. And so, so for example, in this space, when people come in and say crazy, weird things or bring in immaturity from the internet, I instantly block them. Like they get blocked from life. Like, I push them out. I say, you gotta go. Sometimes I don't even announce it. I just delete them.